In this session, we will be talking about the concept of elasticity of demand. The idea of elasticity of demand is asking the question, how will a change in price affect the quantity being demanded, or the amount of a good or service that a buyer is willing and able to buy. Now, the idea is, and we've already seen this in previous videos and readings, is that price and quantity have an inverse or a negative relationship, meaning that the variables move in different directions. So we know, dealing with the demand curve, if price goes up, then the quantity that a buyer is willing and able to buy. The concept that we're getting ready to talk about is the idea of elasticity of demand. Now, the idea of elasticity of demand is to ask the question, how will a change in price affect the quantity demanded, or the amount that a buyer would be willing and able to buy? We've already seen that price and quantity, when you're dealing with the demand curve, have a negative or an inverse relationship, meaning that as the price of a good increases, the quantity demanded of a good goes down, and as the price of a good decreases, then the quantity demanded of a good is going to go up. So the idea is, and in fact the demand curve that we have been dealing with up until now, we have had price on the horizontal axis, we have had price on the vertical axis, quantity on the horizontal axis, and we've been dealing with a downward sloping demand curve that looks something like this. So that shows that negative relationship between price and quantity. But if we agree that that is a downward sloping demand curve, then we must also agree that this is a downward sloping demand curve, and this is a downward sloping demand curve as well. And of course, there are many other demand curves that you could draw that are downward sloping as well. So the idea of elasticity of demand is simply asking the question, which one of these curves are we operating on, or what does the demand curve look like? How is the demand curve actually shaped? Because the shape of the demand curve is going to have everything to do with what happens to the quantity demanded when price changes.